Hello, CFA Nation. Gabe.
I thought you were going to say Born Reviews for a second. Nick here.
It sounds the same. It just rolls off the tongue. CFA Nation, Born Reviews Nation, Nation in general. What's up, guys? Super excited today to react to this video. I got to say, a lot of people have been telling us, hey, check out some of the championships. Nick, tell them what we're going to check out today.
All right. So this is a video that's got like 150 million views. We are not going to react to it because of, it's from one of the official cricket channels. It's a super popular video. I mean, we would get shut down instantly. So we're going to talk about it. But we are looking at the Nidahas Trophy 2018 tournament. And this is a request from our Patreon. Let me make sure I get the name right. I'm pretty sure it is Amila.
Right.
And as always, let me know, Amila, if I'm saying that right or wrong in the comment section. But Amila wants us to look at this video. And I appreciate where Amila's thinking because, he says he loves our cricket review videos. Thank you so much. It'd be wonderful we can react to this most watched sports video on YouTube. And he says closing on 150 million. So I did a little research after I watched the video. Gabe's watched the video. We're ready to talk about it.
Bangladesh got jobbed. Oh my gosh. I'm an Indian fan. Obviously, a lot of our fans are Indian. Obviously that's how we even got into cricket. But you got to feel bad for Bangladesh, bro. Like, somebody got cut after that. Like, the one was such a misplay. Oh, we'll get into it in a minute. But tell me you didn't feel bad for Bangladesh.
This guy's jumping all over the place. So before we get into it, what is the Nidahas Trophy? So according to the internet, it was a 3-nation tournament. You got Sri Lanka, you got Bangladesh, you got India, and it was played in Sri Lanka in Colombo. And it was to celebrate the 70th anniversary of Sri Lanka's independence. They had this tournament. And it was just those 3 countries that were invited. And it was basically, I think, double elimination. And whoever was in the finals and was going for the trophy. And so you got India and Bangladesh. It's kind of sad that it's for Sri Lanka. They didn't make it to the finals. But you got India and Bangladesh in the finals. This is the championship game. And this is the final over in that championship game. In this final over, I'm going to pull it up on my screen. In this game, in the final over, you have – one second.
VJ, who should have been out not once, but twice. The cricket gods were looking down upon him that day because that dude got lucky. Oh, my gosh. Oh.
So India, they needed 12 runs to win from the final 6 balls, that final over, which is, obviously an average of 2 runs per ball. Not an easy task whatsoever. I would imagine that if you're in any kind of deficit, you want to have an average of 1 ball per run or 1 run per ball. And so they got 12 runs to go for it. And, it starts off, for the most part, the first 3 balls, pretty good for Bangladesh. You got, who is this bowling right here? I think it's Sumya or Shankar going against Karthik. And so Karthik, he misses it, and they're off the line a little bit. And so the wicketkeeper grabs the ball, and he goes to throw it, and he just misses the wickets. And they had mentioned, the announcers did, that wasn't his first time he missed it. And then the second ball comes, he misses the ball again, but he gets back to the line when the wicketkeeper is trying to come to him. So now we're looking at they need 11 runs for 5 balls because that first ball that happens, that gets bowled, because the wicketkeeper missed the wickets with it, it gave them a no ball and it gave them a free run.
Right.
So then now they're down to 11 runs on 5 balls. And then now it's going more. And you got the Bangladesh fans. They're stressing. They're in Sri Lanka. You got the Indian players and the Indian fans there. They're stressing. I mean, in sports, you want things to come down to the wire. You would love for that to happen. The movies that are made on sports teams, there's always some kind of moment of drama, whether it's Hollywood produced or not. This is what you want. So on the official second ball, you got Karthik that hits it, and he almost gets out. I mean, the guy fields it. He throws it towards the wickets. I mean, it missed it by an inch. And he's almost there. I mean, you see the fans right here. I'm watching it as I'm talking about it, obviously not reacting to it because I've already seen it. And I mean, and they're just stressing. And this guy, Karthik, like he's been in the Indian national team for quite a while, back to like 2004, 2005.
Right.
He's been there for a while. From the research I did in this guy, he's never really had much of a great opportunity because he's a wicket keeper, and so is MS Dhoni. And MS Dhoni was there as a starter for so many times. He got to play quite a few matches. Don't get me wrong, but he was for the most part the backup to MS Dhoni. But this is his moment to shine. So you got this girl's stressing out, and then you got Karthik. He gets a hit. They field it pretty good. They only allow a single run. So you're talking about 9 runs on 3 balls. I'm going to pause it right there. 9 runs on 3 balls. You don't think, Gabe, you don't think that you want to come down to the wire if you are the cricket board? Of course you do. You want those ratings. As a fan, you don't want that.
Yeah, let me stop you right there. First and foremost, okay? You started off by saying that it started off pretty good for Bangladesh. How is that possible? They should have gotten out right away. Okay, that was a misplay. That's an error. In baseball, we call it an error. That's a simple misplay, and the announcers allude to it. It wasn't the first time by the wicketkeeper, okay? How did he miss that? I don't know. Now, trust me, I've played baseball before, bro. I've booted the simplest balls, easy flips, because you get nervous, all right? And pressure, there's an expression that says pressure busts pipes, okay? It does. So you could see the momentum shifting. That's why I said, how did it start? Well, you said that, how did it start off well for Bangladesh?
They had 3 balls left, and now India needed 9 runs. Yes, you had that error, but they were able to recover. They needed to average 3 runs a ball. That's what I meant by it started off good. There's only 3 balls left, 9 runs.
I see what
is
you're
that
saying.
Abraham Lincoln behind your shoulder? I mean, who is that, man?
Big A, baby, big A. You know, you know me. That's actually from The Purge. Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? Anarchy? What is it? That year, you know, y'all got all the crazy stuff in the background. But anyway, bro, going back to it, yes, fans, for the most part, some fans like that. Yes, TV ratings love the close games down to the wire. The sponsors love it because it's engaging. You know who doesn't want it? And I'll tell you right now, no player alive ever said, I want it to come down to the wire, okay? I don't want it. If I'm boxing, I don't want it to go down to the 12th round. I don't want it to go into the judge's hands, okay? If I'm playing baseball, I don't want it to come out to the last out, okay, or the last strike. If I'm playing cricket, I don't want it to come to the last over. Bro, pressure, bust pipe, people that are routine plays all of a sudden become massive. And as a player, you get that not me mentality. I guarantee you, and we're going to talk about the rest of this video in a minute, every single fielder was saying, God, please don't let that ball come at me. Because once one person makes an error, it's like, it's contagious. You know what I mean?
I understand some people can't handle the clutch moments, but my point is this. Even the players, they want to come down to the wire because of this fact. If I can have a crystal ball before that game starts, before that tournament starts, and they're to tell me you're going to be in the final game and it's going to come down to the last over, that lets me know, rest assured, that we have a chance come near the end. Obviously, I want to blow out the other team, or I want to beat them and make it comfortable. But if you tell me before the game starts that I have a chance to win it in the last over, I'll take that deal any minute because that means I'm in it to win it. I can't tell you how many championship games I've watched on TV where it's a blowout and there's just no suspense. There's no drama. The Super Bowl football games usually always end up that way. They end up being not the most interesting games. You want it to be exciting unless you're a fan of that team, unless you're the coach of that team, unless you're the captain of that team. That's when it's like, oh, like you said, anybody can mess it up.
And listen, we're gonna do our next very soon. We have a lot of people asking for the tests, okay, with Justin Langer, okay, episode 6. Ask Justin Langer if he likes when they win comfortably by 48 runs or when they win by 7 or 6, okay, bro. No coach, no player. You don't want it coming down to that because you know everyone is nervous. There's some guys that got ice water in their veins that they're just cool as cucumbers. But bro, that's a very select few. I'll be honest. I was one guy who had that mentality, not me. I don't want the ball at the last, you know what I mean? I just didn't. I didn't want it hit to me. I would be thankful, okay, when the ball didn't get hit at me in that last out. All through the game, first 8 innings, I'm good. In high school, first 6 innings, I'm good. But that 7th inning, oh gosh, you know what I mean? It's just so much pressure. That's why in baseball, closers get paid an exorbitant amount of money. I hate people that say, oh, they're just another pitcher. No, they're not. No, they're not. Okay, those last 3 outs in baseball are the hardest to get. Anybody who's ever pitched will tell you that. And it's, again, the same thing in cricket. You got to have that guy with ice water in his veins that aren't going to let the fans get in his head, isn't going to let the situation get in his head. And by the way, the gamesmanship, I love what Bangladesh did, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but the announcers were upset. They were like, how could they
got
let
a water break in the middle of the over, and the umpires didn't say a word about it. I mean, yes, you got to – it's like calling a timeout in basketball. You got to cut the bleeding. You got to stop the bleeding. You got to figure it out. But, again, I think that was a big mistake because they rebounded from the wicketkeeper's mistake. They got the next 2 balls pretty good, only gave up 1 run. And then you got on the next ball, what does Karthik do? He goes for the boundary. He gets 4 runs, and now your insurmountable 9-3 is now looking at a 5-2. Still not the best odds. That's 2.5 runs per ball to win it.
Right.
But it's not what you want. I think the water break actually hurt Bangladesh. And, you know, there's all these things. I mean, think about this. You're second-guessing a water break that was taken.
Bro, that was huge.
It changes the momentum. And now, once they hit that boundary, India all of a sudden has this life because they're in a situation where we can do nothing but prevent to lose. So we got nothing to lose. And you got Karthik up against the second to last ball. And what does he do?
Gets it out, bro.
It's amazing out, too, where it changes hands and they catch it.
He hits it, and I thought he went for a 6er. And I was like, oh my gosh, India did it. And then all of a sudden, the Bangladesh players both collide. I thought they dropped it. The ball bobbled at least 3 or 4 times. Let me tell you how hard it is to keep your concentration. I've played in the outfield before. I've had that happen. My son is a shortstop, like I said. He's never been hurt playing football. Yet he got hurt playing baseball. One of his worst injuries was as a shortstop. It was in that shallow area between, like, you know, the behind second base and center field, no man's land. So he's going out from short to catch it. The outfielder's coming in. Nobody calls the ball. They collide. The dude's tooth cracked my son in the head when they collided, gave him like 6 stitches. The poor kid lost 2 teeth, the other player, and both players were out on the ground. My son was out with a concussion for like literally 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I remember we had this discussion. Like, how do you get hurt? Like, that those guys collided, and all you saw was the guy's concentration on that ball. Like, forget my body. I'm sacrificing everything. I am not going to drop this ball. If I drop this ball, in essence, I've dropped what's the name of the trophy again?
Nidahas, which actually translates into freedom. I did make a mistake. It was VJ that got that out in the second to last ball. It was not Karthik. He was the partner. I also said Shankar was one of the bowlers. That's VK Shankar, so I made that mistake. But we're down to 5 runs.
5 runs.
5 runs needed by 1 ball. And you're thinking, okay, the 6er, yes, it's a possibility, but, you know, the only other possibility is to get like a single run and then have them bobble it and have it go for a boundary when they're trying to throw it in, and then you got your 5 right there.
Didn't they say they needed 4 for a super over?
4 to tie, but you don't want to tie. You want to win, so 5 to win. So you need that 6. It's the only possible situation that can happen. And as a bowler, I'm trying to, as a fan, I'm trying to think as a bowler, what is the best ball you can bowl that would give the least amount of chance for the 6er? And so you got the drama is up to its peak. You got Karthik. He's back in the driver's seat now as the batter because VJ was out. And again, this guy, from all intents and purposes, from my research, this guy's a stud. This guy's a star, but he never, in my opinion, from what I saw, was able to be like that superstar international level. He was able to do a lot of things in different areas. So this is the chance right here. You got Bangladesh. They still got to be feeling pretty good because they trust their bowler. They trust their team. They trust their defense. They just had a great catch the ball before. All this guy has to do is prevent a sixer from happening. And in a blink of an eye, in the flash of the camera lens, boom, he hits that ball. And just like Big Mac 62, it barely goes over the boundary for the walk-off sixer. India's going crazy. Bangladesh is depressed. They are on the floor discussing. I do like their uniform color, by the way. Bangladesh is pretty nice looking. But they are just defeated. The players are about to cry. And you have all these players jumping in from India being like, did we just steal that one? Did we just get that? I'm glad didn't end on like an umpire controversy. It was just toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano, and man, Karthik really showed up.
Honestly, you're thinking about, I'm trying to prevent a sixer. I'm throwing a bouncer up there, okay? I'm throwing a York up there. Questionable. I may do a little Joffrey Archer and a little head hunt. I don't know. I'm going to do something. And even the announcer said that was a great, great Yorker. It wasn't like he was able to come up there. He sliced this ball, and to your credit, like you said, it went like the opposite way, and it barely cleared. Like he bowled the ball he had to bowl, and it still went against him. That's what I'm saying. You feel so bad for Bangladesh at this point in this video because you're like, are you kidding me? Like, I hate when a team loses on an error. And I know what you're going to say, and everybody says this, okay? In the NFL, where it's always on a bad call, well, they had a chance to make it up. But, bro, momentum is such a big thing in sports. And I'm telling you, to me, that very first error or misplay, whatever, by the wicketkeeper, where he did not point blank range knock down that wicket, like, it just sets the tone where now everybody is playing tight. Everybody is tense instead of playing loose. You know what I'm saying? And what does that? Again, those tight games. That's why I disagree with you vehemently as a player. And maybe because I've never looked at it as a fan. I'm still, my kids still play ball. And bro, I'm bald now completely. I've just let it all go and shaved it because I was going bald anyway, people. But a lot of that baldness, okay, it's not just male pattern baldness. It's from pulling out my hair, watching my son who's in college now play, watching my high schooler play. I still got one in club ball who just finished Little League. Like, it's so stressful. Sports is stressful, especially when you got a lot invested in there. Like, nobody ever wants to go to the last. I'm sorry. If you got a lot invested, if you're a player or a parent or a coach, you got so much invested in that game, you want it to be a blowout. You don't want those tight, nail-biting games because the amount of stress will absolutely drive you crazy. And think about the Bangladesh fans. They had to be absolutely distraught. Like, did we just, like you said, did we get robbed here? This was a job. I mentioned that in the beginning. That's an expression like, oh, there was a job. If you got jobs, like you got hosed, you got cheated out of this. They had to feel like they got cheated out of it.
I don't see them getting cheated because, it wasn't a controversial call.
No.
It wasn't anything like that. It was, they were left to their own devices. So I'm going to play a little Monday morning quarterback here. And that's a phrase we use here in the States that basically means second guessing what happened on game day Sunday, the next day in like a commentator's chair. So let's think about this. If the wicket keeper does not have that error in that first ball, then not only do you not get a free ball there, so you redo the ball, but you don't give up that run. Right. So in one sense purposes, he swings, he misses, wicket keeper catches it, doesn't try to go for the out. I understand why he would, but you're like 5 wickets down. You're not going to get 5 outs in that last over. You're just not going to. So just protect the ball, catch it, let it count as that ball, and then you're down to 5 balls. If that's the case, then the last ball that's hit by VJ, that's the sealer right there. Now, cricket fans may correct me and they say no, maybe it was a wide ball and that was a free ball, but I think it was a free ball because he threw it at the wicket and he made that error. Now, the other point is this. I think our fans are going to drive. This is going to drive them crazy. But if it was me and I wanted to prevent that sixer because now we're in this tough situation, what I do is I throw a ball as close to that wide as possible and hope the guy's going to fish for it. Right? Hope that it's not called wide. Make it harder for him to hit. And then hopefully he fishes for it. It's not called wide and we win the game. But at least that allows you to catch the person off guard. Now, I understand the ball that he bowled on the other side wasn't the best ball that you can hit a sixer off, and the guy was able to do it. And maybe that was his strategy, but that's what I would do. Go for it. The worst that happens is a wide ball. They get another run. You're still up by 4, and then you got to make your best ball to bowl. It gets them closer to that boundary instead of a sixer. But for me, this last over is kind of weird for Bangladesh. I'm going to go for broke, and I'm going to try to get him to swing because he already swung and missed at the first 2 balls. Twice. You can get him swinging and missing, so why not do it again? That's what I would have done. But, I mean, it is what it is. India won that championship, that Nidahas trophy. It'd been really cool to be able to react to it, but I kind of like discussing things after I watch it one time so I can let it process and we can have a discussion. Let us know what your thoughts are on this. I'll let Gabe give his final thoughts on this video, but definitely interesting, definitely crazy. Like you said, if I was Bangladesh as a fan or a player, I'd be heartbroken because in the back of my mind, we got this one and then it was taken from us. Right. Crazy, great request, and I just loved watching it.
Final thoughts. This is probably the most exciting single, over so far I've seen in cricket. Honestly, my heart bleeds at this point for Bangladesh, and only because as a coach and as a parent, I've been on so many of those losing sides where it's always an error. It's always, a small thing that happens and the floodgates open, and with both my boys, and it's something that's so stressful. Hats off to India, though. They stayed in there. They capitalized on that opportunity. You have to do that. The other team shows up to play as well. And, VJ, I tell you what, the guy's got ice water in his veins too. Because that's another thing, like I said, people say that, oh no, I wanted the game in my hands at the end. 99% of people will say that. 99% of people, if you put them in that position, will be absolutely, falling apart. Okay, most people, not just pitchers or in baseball or bowlers, batsmen. I don't want the game on my shoulders. I don't want to be that last guy up there where if I make an out or if it's the last strike, it's on me. And Trey, to his credit, bro, this kid's got ice water in his veins. He closes. He loves doing it. And at bat, I've seen these high school kids. A lot of them are like, oh, my God, somebody's got to pitch hit. I'll go, coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't care. You know what I mean? Or if he's up. I wasn't like that as a player myself. It's so much pressure. And I get it, like you mentioned, sponsors love it, and for certain fans, for fans, for the most part, it is the most exciting because it came down to the wire. But man, the amount of pressure in that singular moment, you've got to be built a different way. You got to be cut from a different cloth. So hats off to him, bro. I could, if it was me, I tell you, I probably would have froze at that moment. I would have been like, oh man, I couldn't pull the trigger, or I would have been too anxious and probably popped it up or swung right through it. And he was just calm, composed, and like you said, it was a really good ball, and he just hit it the other way. So hats off. But man, like, have you been in that situation? Let us know in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just me as a player. But like, if you guys have played any type of organized sports, high school on up or whatnot, did you want to be that guy at the last, out or the last minute of the game, ball in your hands? I never wanted to be that guy. I didn't want to be Kobe Bryant. I don't want to take the last shot. I don't want to be MJ. I can't deal with that kind of pressure. How about you, Nick?
I mean, I'd never had skill like that to be able to make that decision. So with my limited skill, no. But if I had the skill, if I, was that good, ego enough might make me push myself to, I want to try. There's a lot of guys who want the ball, in baseball. There's like a Kurt Schilling. You don't take Kurt Schilling out of a game. He will bite your head off because he deserves to be in there in his mind. There's a lot of guys like that, a lot of ladies like that in sports, but maybe it's not the majority. But we hope you enjoy this discussion. If you did, go ahead and throw us some love by liking and subscribing. Thanks for helping this channel grow slowly but surely. We appreciate that. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.